Sports.
Well, if you're a 49er fan, you already know this. If you don't, it's a pleasure to share this with you because this is great news. Vic Tafur is now covering for the Athletic, the 49ers. How about that, Jay? That's great news.
As I said earlier, man, Vic knew what time it was. Time to get with the good guys. Finally leave the bad guys alone. One of the best to do it, man. Happy to follow Vic now.
Vic Tafur joining us. What'd you make of the Brock Purdy press conference today, Vic? Any earth-shattering statements uttered by the QB?
Not really. I mean, obviously he's a pretty happy guy. Just got $181 million guaranteed. That's a good day. So I think he was he's kind of telling us how it happened. Kind of no drama. Just kind of made a nice offer to begin with. It was friendly negotiations. He wanted to like his words at the same time not break the bank. I guess he can ask for more money. So he's happy. The team's happy. Everyone's happy.
Mm-hmm. Well, you wrote a really interesting piece today about Brock Purdy and his extension. And I wanted to ask you, based on what you wrote, a lot of fans, Vic, as you've probably heard, some fans quibble with how much money Purdy is getting. Are his teammates good with how much money Brock Purdy is getting now?
Yeah, I think they're really, he has a lot of respect in the locker room. They all kind of value the way he kind of his journey. Obviously, they all know about his journey. Coming to the Niners, last pick in the draft, you make the team, kind of start getting reps, you're going to earn your way, and now he's the guy. He's making speeches in the locker room. I think everyone believes in the guy, and they think this is the guy to take him back to Super Bowl. So I think everyone's pretty on board with him being the guy.
Vic, I'll ask you the question that Whitey just proposed to me, and now that you jumped over with 49ers, but you've had eyes on the outside, now you're on the inside. Is there anything that concerns you with Brock Purdy?
Not really, man. I think the thing about him is that he's shown there's a high floor. I think he's already done more than anyone ever thought he could do. But to me, there's still an upside left. I think you saw last year, he ran the ball a little more. I think he makes plays on his feet out of the pocket. So I think there's still an upside with him where he can be a top 5, top 10 quarterback.
You wrote something really interesting today, Vic, in this piece where you suggested that maybe in some ways last year was necessary for the 49ers. What do you mean by that?
That's just a good spin right there. But I think last year was good because clearly they had a lot of injuries. It was like they hit bottom, but they kind of realized who their core guys were. They lost 8 starters, so I'm not sure those 8 guys, how many really felt that badly about losing. I think they realized, George Kittle, got to lock him up. Fred Warner, got to lock him up. Brock Purdy. Those are guys who played hurt last year. That Fred Warner played every game with a fractured ankle, so kind of showed you what he's made of. I think George Kittle is a key leader also. So just the guys who wanted to kind of get to the next level with and kind of make sure they were there for the next 2 or 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, so not something they would have chosen, obviously, but there was some upside this offseason in terms of refreshing things as a result of the 6-11 then.
Yeah, not only that, but you get the last place schedule, which is a really nice schedule as far as the opponents and where you get them, when you get them, and there's a nice stretch at the end there. You play mostly bad teams, so I think that schedule is really, really nice.
Vicky, someone else that the 49ers inked up this past week, that'd be Fred Warner. Just thoughts on the deal as far as Fred Warner's deal being the highest paid linebacker and what he means to the 49ers.
Yeah, I think it's another guy who definitely he's earned it. I think, he's talking a lot of money. He's the highest paid inside linebacker in the league right now. But just last year, he came in, he broke his ankle in week 4, played the rest of the way. I think he's a guy who really enjoys his role as leader, takes it very seriously, has pushed the younger guys. And this year especially, they have like 5 rookies they want to probably start. So his leadership will be key this year, and they're kind of getting to the next level. So I think he's a guy that's a no-brainer as far as bringing him back.
Vic Tafur, nice enough to join us from The Athletic. Vic, it seems like with the 49ers, the focus has always been on the offense with, Joe Montana or John Brody, probably Wyatt Tittle. I mean, people always want to talk about the offense, and they just kind of overlook the defense, and I understand that. But all that said, how much of this season for the 49ers comes down to how well the defensive draft refresh actually works this year?
Yeah, it's huge. They drafted a lot of guys who are kind of in the image of guys they had in the past. So Robert Sala's guys he counted on when he was here last time. So I think it's a good draft class. We'll have to wait and see. But in terms of what they needed, in terms of the size, guys can get to the quarterback, guys stop the run, I think it's a very interesting class. I think they have high hopes for it. And at this point, I can see why. They looked apart.
Hey, Vic, you coming from the Raiders over to the 49ers, I saw you put out, and I think you were the first one, so I wanted to make sure we give you those kudos. You are saying that the 49ers or Raiders going to lock in for a one-day practice prior to the preseason, if I'm not mistaken. For you, and this not for the team, what does that mean for Vic Tafur going back to Vegas, baby? How are you fired up?
I am fired up to see some old friendly faces. I get to kind of go into my old grounds as an enemy. Kind of, I'm sure I'll be probably about 3 fields away. I need my binoculars to see what's going on. But that's how it works. So I can respect that. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I think. And plus, those joint things are always a good deal. It's kind of like a unofficial preseason game. The guys can go against each other and to run plays and kind of see what you want to do. So those are always very worthwhile for both players and for media members like myself.
Vic, has anybody over that's T. Reed, has anybody talked a little mess that you jumped over to the 49ers now?
It's been pretty good actually.
Okay.
Not a lot worse. I thought Red fans were going to kill me, but for the most part, they're pretty understanding. I want to get back to the Bay, and so it's been pretty positive. I think that might change when we get there in person and we get closer to the season. But right now, I've been surprised by how everyone's been really warm and fuzzy.
Vic, we get this question a lot, and frankly, we're not entirely clear on it. What does Ayuk's timetable for returning look like, as best as you can tell?
I think he's doing well. I mean, you saw, things you're hearing. No one's making an official comment, but
yeah,
it seems like it's going well. I think he's back the first month of the season, which I think it sounds pretty good. So I think they got to add another receiver. I know Gabe Davis was in for a workout recently, so they're going to add another guy. But I think they're okay with Pearsall and with the rookie they got and Jennings. I think they'll be okay if Eric's back in the first months.
Joined by Vic Tafur of The Athletic. Vic, since you've been back, have you heard any whispers of Mr. Bosa and how he wants to perform this year? As I believe most people, and probably including himself, he's kind of spoke about it a little bit, that it was a down year. Have you heard any whispers of how he's coming in ready and prepared for this season?
All I've heard so far is that he and other guys on defense, and Fred Warner, they mentioned him, just they want to get back to where they were 2 years ago. They kind of realized last year was a down year. There's some pride involved, and they kind of want to show, hey, we're still the 49ers. We're still one of the best teams in the league. So I think that's a very big deal for those guys on defense this year.
Vic, I want to circle back to Purdy, and I know you addressed this with one of your previous answers already today, but last year, down year for him, numbers-wise, down year for the team. What were some things, despite, I think they were 6-9 with him as quarterback, despite the 9 losses, what were some things that Brock Purdy actually did well last year?
I think he still made some good throws. I think you see him still going through the tight windows, going through his reads. I think there are a lot of guys he's missing on offense with up front, and also at receiver, and obviously McCaffrey's a huge loss. I think he showed he can still make plays, even with some guys who aren't really guys you think he'd be playing with. So I think there are some positives to take from that season as well with him.
Mm-hmm.
Vicky, I'll stay on the kind of the injury bug that Whitey was talking about with Brandon Ayuk, and I know we're firing them off, but man, you do it unlike anybody else. What's the thoughts on CMC? Any words? We know he says he's ready, but have you had opportunity to put your eyes on it?
I have not, because when he's been out there, we're not allowed to watch. But according to Kubiak, the new coordinator, he looks great. It looks like everything's back to where it should be, and he's running the ball well. So he could be lying to us, but I don't think he is. I think we have OTAs coming up. We'll see him in person in the next few weeks. But all indications are he's back. He's healthy. He's ready to go.
We know you're busy. We'll let you go on this one. We appreciate your time. Can you confirm for us that Brock's big planned purchase now with the new deal is a bass boat?
It is. I thought it was very clever how he did that because his wife was against it. But he threw it out there in the press conference. Like, well, now I got to buy it because if I don't buy it now, you look like the villain. Everyone thinks, oh, his wife is mean. Can't want to buy a bass boat. So now it's out there. It's kind of a done deal. So I like how that was handled.
Smart. Quarterbacks are smart. Thank you, Vic. We appreciate it. Hope to talk to you again soon.
All right, boys. Thanks a lot.
Yep. Vic Tafur back with the 49ers. A bass boat, huh? Yeah. He thanked his parents, wife, members of the 49er organization, said he plans to buy a bass boat, Jay. Maybe he'll come up this way. Folsom Lake or something. Great bass fishing up in this region.
Yeah, I think I have that sound because it was literally like the last question. Hold on, give me 5 seconds. Let me make sure that's right.
All right. Yeah. Great to have the great Vic Tafur now, he's an old school reporter, excellent reporter, boxing reporter, football writer. It's great to have him on the 49er side. Sorry, Raider fans, but don't blame, Vic for wanting to be back in Northern California.
And absolutely. Let me just say this, Raider fans, you don't deserve a quality person like Vic Tafur,